Hello and welcome back to Football Daily, where today we are running through 10 players whose performances are currently embarrassing their haters. 10. Rodrigo. Prior to the start of this season, we imagined that most Leeds fans would be fairly ambivalent towards Rodrigo. Signed for a then club record of £27 million in August 2020, the striker contributed 13 goals and 3 assists in his first 57 league games for the club. Not disastrous, but not what the Elland Road faithful were expecting from a 27-capped Spanish international. But this summer something clicked. Brought into the leadership group by Jesse Marsch, the former Valencia frontman has looked like a man reborn, with 4 goals including a brace against Southampton and a goal against Chelsea in his first 5 games of the season. His shots have leapt from just 1.9 per 90 last term to 4.8, a figure topped only by Cristiano Ronaldo of players to have played over 200 league minutes, with his expected goals and assists per 90 tally of 0.96, only marginally less than Harry Kane at the time of writing. Currently out with a dislocated shoulder, he's set to return after the international break. 9. RADU. We couldn't help but feel sorry for RADU last season. After coming through the Inter Milan academy and spending 3 years on loan, RADU made just his 5th appearance for Nerazzurri against Bologna in late April 2022. A late error from RADU where he failed to clear Perisic's throw-in allowed Nicolas Sansone to tap into an empty net. Inter lost 2-1, their only drop points of the final 9 games, and Milan won the title by 2 points despite having a far inferior goal difference. When RADU was loaned out to Cremonese in July, it confirmed that he was never going to be entrusted with the #1 shirt at San Siro. And when he fell into his own net whilst collecting a cross to hand Fiorentina a 3-2 victory on his debut, it appeared as though the 25-year-old had brought his bad luck with him. But to his credit, the Romanian has responded magnificently, with 37 saves only topped by 3 keepers in Europe's top 5 leagues, and only 3 keepers preventing more than his 3.4 expected goals. Cremonese will be in a relegation battle this year, but if RADU keeps this up, they may just survive. 8. Neco Williams. Being compared to Trent Alexander-Arnold isn't easy. Yes, the Liverpool Academy graduate has clear defensive deficiencies, but on the ball, he's unique with his 2.4 key passes per 90, above elite creators like Kulusevski, Kane and Bruno Fernandes this term. With that in mind, it was clear that whenever Neco Williams pulled on the red shirt of Liverpool, he was going to suffer in comparison, and sure enough, it wasn't until he moved to Fulham on loan in January 2022 that we really saw the best of the Welshman. The 21-year-old was excellent with his shot-creating actions, dribbles, tackles and blocks, all ranking in the top 5% of defenders in Europe, earning him a £17 million move to Nottingham Forest. With Steve Cooper still getting to grips with his 21 new signings, Forest have looked all over the place at times, but Williams has adapted to life in the Midlands pretty seamlessly. He's currently averaging 5.7 tackles per 90, with his 40 tackles and interceptions only topped by Fulham's Kenny Tete, while still finding the time to create 9 chances for his teammates, first in the Forest squad. What a start for the Welshman. 7. Alvaro Morata. It wasn't long ago that Morata was the laughingstock of European football. Despite having the likes of Real Madrid, Chelsea, Juventus and Atletico Madrid on his CV, as well as 26 goals in 56 games for Spain, it was believed that the 6'3" striker lacked the required mental strength to truly ever be considered world class. So when Juventus didn't make his loan spell permanent despite his 32 goals and 21 assists in 92 games for the club over the previous 2 seasons, forcing Morata to return to Atletico Madrid, a club where he'd never truly shown his best form, we were worried about the impact it might have on his fragile confidence. But we shouldn't have worried. Entrusted as Simeone's leading number 9, Morata has responded with 3 goals in 6 league games, with his 3.3 shots per 90, his best since his days as an impact sub at Real Madrid in 2016-17. His expected goals per 90 tally of 0.56 is not only 0.2 better than his final season in Turin, but should mean he hits 21 league goals if he finishes as expected, the first time he's ever top 15 in a league campaign. If Morata maintains this form, don't be surprised to see him challenge for the World Cup Golden Boot in a Spain side which has lost just 1 of their last 12 games. 6. Ousmane Dembélé. Rewind to January 2022 and things were not looking good for Ousmane Dembélé's long-term prospects at the Nou Camp. Refusing to sign a new deal, Barca boss Xavi publicly announced the club's intentions, telling the press Ousmane Dembélé has to sign a new contract or we will find a way to sell him in January. Before continuing, the agent is talking the way he is, and Dembele, on the other hand, is telling me he wants to stay. I can't understand. Whatever was going on behind the scenes between the club and the players' representatives has only seemed to sharpen Dembele's focus, with the 25-year-old Frenchman responding with 3 goals and 13 assists in his last 20 league games, finally beginning to look something close to a €105 million player. Fresh off the back of signing a 2-year extension, Dembele has been in inspired form this term, and is currently averaging a ridiculous 4.5 shots per 90, 15th in Europe's top 5 leagues, whilst also creating 4.1 chances per 90, the best record in La Liga. With a wonderful on-pitch understanding with Robert Lewandowski developing, if Dembele maintains this form, we expect Barcelona to challenge for every competition this term. 5. Remy Cabella. Best remembered on these shores for a woeful season on Tyneside with Newcastle, Remy Cabella's career appeared to be fading into nothing as he turned 32 in March 2022. The 4-capped Frenchman had spent the last 3 years playing in Russia with Krasnodar, but Russia's invasion of Ukraine saw Cabella's contract terminated by mutual consent, and he returned to France with Montpellier. When he was given just 313 league minutes for a side that finished 13th, it appeared that might be the last we saw of the attacking midfielder in a top 5 league, but Lille saw something we didn't, and snapped him up on a free this summer. That decision has paid dividends in the first few weeks of the season, with Cabella providing 4 assists at an average of 1 every 60 minutes, with only 5 players in Europe providing more. And it appears as though he can sustain these numbers with his 0.46 expected assists per 90, only topped by 4 players in France at the time of writing. With Lille's painfully inconsistent form seeing them fall 7 points behind third place Lorient already, Paulo Fonseca desperately needs Cabella to maintain his form if they are to make something of this campaign. 4. Nuno Tavares. Staying in France now, and we head to the south coast, where another Premier League reject is shining on loan at Marseille, Arsenal's Nuno Tavares. The 22-year-old left-back signed from Benfica in 2021 and made 28 appearances during his debut campaign, with first-choice Kieran Tierney struggling to stay fit. Whilst the 8-capped Portuguese under-21 international showed a lot of attacking promise, with his dribbles completed and touches in the opposition box ranking in the top 5% of players in his position in Europe, lapses in concentration and his often erratic passing showed that he still had a lot to learn. But playing under new coach Igor Tudor, Tavares has been a revelation, with 3 goals including a strike against Nice in his first 8 Ligue 1 games, helping Lyon to second in the table, only 2 points behind PSG. No one can top his 18 shots, whilst he also leads the side for tackles and dribbles, completing more than double the amount of take-ons as any other Marseille player. Keep this up and Arteta will be forced into playing Tavares at the Emirates next term. 3. Erling Haaland. It seems ridiculous now, but it wasn't just random corners of football Twitter that was sceptical about Erling Haaland's move to Man City. There were professional pundits also questioning whether the 22-year-old phenomenon, who had thrived in Dortmund's counter-attacking system, could thrive in a side that completed the second most passes in Europe's top 5 leagues behind PSG last term. He's made a mockery of those doubters though, scoring 14 goals in 10 games for the club, including 10 in his first 6 in the Premier League, equalling former Coventry City star Mickey Quinn's 29-year-old record. The stats are quite frankly insane. At the time of writing, Haaland has completed 91 passes in the Premier League, 102 fewer than his teammate Edison, and only 14 more than Liverpool's Nat Phillips, who has only played 63 minutes. But it simply doesn't matter when you are as deadly as he is in the box, with his 16 shots on target only topped by Messi and Mbappe, and City on track to score 124 league goals this season if they maintain their current rates, 22 more than their 17-18 Centurions managed. 2. Jordan Pickford. Whilst Jordan Pickford has always faced snide remarks on social media for his increasingly rare mistakes in an Everton shirt, the fact is that the former Sunderland shot-stopper has been in brilliant form for the Toffees in 2022. His performances down the stretch, particularly in wins against Chelsea and Leicester, played a massive role at Everton's safety, and he has carried on that form into this term. He may have only kept 1 clean sheet, but that's barely surprising when Lampard's men are conceding 16 shots per game, 17th in the division. But the 45-capped England international is certainly trying his best, saving just under 84% of efforts on target. With this in mind, it's perhaps no surprise that Pickford has already prevented over 3 expected goals, 4th in Europe's top 5 leagues, and a tally topped by just 18 keepers in Europe across the entirety of last season. One of very few England players in top form, Gareth Southgate will be praying this form continues in Qatar. 1. Neymar. Even today, there are still people who doubted Neymar's place amongst the best players in the world. Yes, people point out the injuries, and he did miss 22 games last term, and he's never far from the headlines, but the stats don't lie. 111 goals and 68 assists in 155 games for PSG, or 1.2 goals and assists per game, is world class by any measure. And after a summer of speculation linking him with moves away from the club he joined for a still mind-blowing €222 million, he has shown the best form of his PSG career. 8 goals and 7 assists in his first 8 games of the season, at an average of a goal contribution every 42 minutes, it's quite simply Ballon d'Or form. To put that into context, across the 2011-12 season, in which Messi provided 50 league goals and 16 assists in league play alone, he was operating at a goal contribution every 50 minutes. Currently operating at 1.5 expected goals and assists per 90, if the much maligned Neymar carries this form into the Champions League, Galtier's men have to be included amongst the favourites for their much desired title. So those were our 10 players who are embarrassing their haters, but did we miss anyone out, and do you agree with these 10 selected? Let me know in the comments below. Have they proved you guys wrong? Let me know down below. And if you want to see more Football Daily content, then click on screen right now, and as always guys, don't forget to like and subscribe.